It's now creeping up at the top of the hour, and you know what that means. That means we have more news for all Americans, and guess what? It begins right now. It's Wednesday, September 3rd, as we look outside this morning in America, thanks to EarthCam. We're saying hello to Sitka, Alaska, New York City, Marco Island, Florida, and even Grand Haven, Michigan. I'm Nick Smith in this morning for Marky Martin, who's taking a much-needed day off. Thank you so much for joining us. It's time for news for all Americans. And right now, you're looking live at Chicago, where President Donald Trump says federal officials will soon be mobilized to fight crime, with the city of Baltimore also in his crosshairs.
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing.
The Trump plan is to use any excuse to deploy armed military personnel to Chicago.
We're live with new details about how this operation is expected to play out and analysis on how far this potential deployment could go and whether it's policy or optics. Overnight, China rolls out all sorts of new military weapons in a show of force, with the leaders of Russia and North Korea joining from the sidelines. What you should know about China's latest military parade, also how Beijing's growing alliance with Moscow and Pyongyang will impact war and peacetime relations here at home. And some changes are coming to Amazon Prime that aren't likely to be popular. The shipping perk that's going away, and when. But first, President Trump making it clear troops will be on the ground in cities around the country, and it will happen soon. The president saying he's decided to mobilize federal forces in Chicago and Baltimore, calling crime in those cities out of control. Now, Democratic leaders in both states are vowing to fight back, saying federal intervention is simply not needed. NewsNation's Mills Hayes is live in Chicago with the very latest. Mills, good morning. What happens next in the president's crackdown on crime in cities like Chicago?
Good morning to you, Nick. Sources confirming to NewsNation that National Guard troops deployed in Los Angeles now heading to Chicago. And this is President Trump doubling down on his threats to send in the National Guard to cities like Chicago, but also Baltimore, a direct threat to those Democratic city leaders who he says are not doing enough to fight crime.
You can go to Afghanistan. You can go to places that you would think of. They don't even come close to this. Chicago is a hellhole right now. Baltimore is a hellhole right now. Parts of Los Angeles are terrible.
The Trump administration calling for a federal intervention to combat crime in cities allegedly swept up by a wave of lawlessness, like Baltimore, despite the mayor there pointing to stats like these showing homicides and shootings down compared to this time last year. Local leaders here in Chicago echoing that same message. They say homicides, shootings, and robberies are all down overall. Still, the White House sticking to its plans after a violent Labor Day weekend in Chicago, where 8 people were killed and over 50 were shot. Governors in Illinois and Maryland are pushing back as some residents brace for the potential deployment of troops on the streets, fearing a repeat of the chaos that took place during Los Angeles ICE protests in June, and more recently, the takeover of the D.C. police force.
I refuse to play a reality game show with Donald Trump again. What I want are the federal dollars that have been promised to Illinois and Chicago for violence prevention programs that have proven to work. That is money that Illinois taxpayers send to the federal government, and it's an insult to any and every citizen to suggest that any governor should have to beg the president of any political party for resources owed their people.
The Illinois Attorney General has promised to sue the feds as soon as those federal troops are on the ground here, Nick.
We will all be watching. Nils, thank you so much for joining me now. Is NewsNation political contributor Kurt Bardella to help us go through all of this. Kurt, good morning. The president is known for his spectacle. It drives the agenda. His base likes it. But local leaders have called this political theater. Is it policy or optics at work right now, Kurt?
It's shaping optics through the use of policy. And the reason why you know that is when you look at Republican cities, Republican-led cities that have higher crime rates, violent crime rates than D.C. or Baltimore, There's no National Guard in sight. Where are they? In Kansas City, St. Louis, Birmingham, Cleveland, Dayton, Memphis, Nashville, Houston. Those states, those cities all have violent crime rates to Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. And yet there's no talk of sending the National Guard there. There's no talk of those governors, some of whom have sent their own National Guard to supplement what's going on in New York and soon to be Chicago and Baltimore. Why isn't Governor Berlie of Tennessee sending those National Guardsmen to Memphis, Tennessee, to Nashville? Why are these people not willing to hold their own backyards to the same standard that they're willing to hold Democrat, let's say? The answer is obvious. It's all politics. That's how you know this is about optics, not about actually dealing with violent crime in this country.
But Kurt, even with all that, that doesn't mean it isn't effective, right?
Oh, I mean, Mayor Bowser of D.C. has said it has made a noticeable difference. There has been a drop in violent crime. I don't have an issue per se. If you want to do this and do it equally and everywhere, that's fine. You can make a rational case for that. My issue is when you're only doing it to one political party and not the other, it undermines the argument that you can make that this is about crime. I'm all for whatever it takes, frankly, to reduce violent crime in this country. I think parents who right now are putting their kids back to school want to have their parks available for those after-school park play dates and not worry about violence or crime or drugs or homelessness. Those are all selling points you can make the American people, but you got to do it equally.
Kurt, you've also heard the criticism leveled at Democrats saying that Democrats are talking about crime is down. They keep talking about the numbers, but you've also heard that if people don't feel it, it isn't reality.
Well, I mean, that's exactly the challenge the White House is facing with the economy, right? They want to say that everything is great. The big, beautiful bill was the biggest piece of legislation ever, yet the American people don't feel it, so it's just not real. The same thing when it comes to crime. Now, we live in a time where because Trump has made crime such a prominent issue, every piece of crime is being hyper scrutinized. Every violent, incident is giving a certain amount of oxygen that it probably wouldn't normally get during other times. And so once you go into that cycle, it feels like it's everywhere because you see it everywhere on the news, even though it's not any higher or lower than it may have been 6 months ago.
And Mayor Bowser and Governor Pritzker, with all due respect, are two very different political leaders. Do you think this will escalate into a legal showdown?
Yeah, I think especially Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland, is very clear he doesn't want that National Guard intervention in Baltimore. He is one of those 2028 Democrats to watch. I expect him to take some sort of strong posture, challenging the authority in court, as we've seen with almost anything that Donald Trump does, in part because the size and scope of what he's doing is unprecedented. It just lends itself to judicial scrutiny. And just like his tariffs, well, I'm sure the use and deployment of the National Guard authority will be questioned and ultimately settled in court.
Kurt Bardella, thank you so much, sir, for being here.
Good to see you, my friend.
Shots fired in the Caribbean, why the U.S. military took out this Venezuelan boat, and the message the White House wants to send as it boosts deployments in the area. And the U.S. isn't the only major power flexing this morning. The message China is sending with this massive military parade and leaders of Russia and North Korea among the guests of honor.